have been wanting to make a narrative feature for a while. I've made short films, documentaries, but my ambition has always been to make features. But it was about finding the right idea that would work with what I wanted to do. Where you have films like Tangerine, shot on an iPhone, I wanted to challenge myself and try and make a film without any budget, without a crew, and without a script even. At the time I was making corporate videos and wedding videos mostly by myself, but for instance with wedding videos, these days they're like mini movies, you know, cinematic cameras, good sound, drones, etc. And you have to get great shots very quickly. Your business sort of depends on it. I built up all this equipment. My passion has always been film, and I had got a bit sidetracked. I had made a documentary about some fracking protesters that were living down the road in the woods, and I spent a bit of time with them, and whenever I was shooting, day or night, it always looked beautiful, the surroundings. And so I think the first thing that inspired me were the woods and the great outdoors. Well, where you see more than one actor on screen, those scenes were scripted. Everything else, I would set up a survival scenario, and we'll work out what we were doing on the day of shooting. I was formulating the story in my head as we went along. Yes, I would. I think planning is good, writing scripts, treatments, mood boards, but that can bog you down quite heavily sometimes. I remember doing this all myself on a short film, and it really wasn't fun. What I love to do actually is shoot and see where it takes me, which I guess comes from documentary. In low budget filmmaking, I think the key is utilising what you have available. For instance, the woodland, as I mentioned, but if you take Kevin Smith's Clerks, he was working in that Quickie Mart and used that for a basis of his story. I don't know if this film would have been better or not with a budget, but the plan was to always make it without one. I think with low budget films and using untrained actors, a film can become unconvincing quite quickly when you have these long dialogue scenes. So many actors have showreels that are filled with these clips. Dialogue for me is just a wallpaper to a character. Sometimes saying nothing in a scene says more if the character has convincing foundations built around him. Film is an illusion. What I was looking for was simply someone who was local, that was hungry to make something, even if they weren't an actor, as the part didn't really require much dialogue. But hopefully and thankfully I found Joe. Sounds like a dating app, but he was a great professional actor who reminded me of a young Daniel Day-Lewis, and he was keen to be involved. Joe is very chuffed to hear about this award, so I hope he wins. The thing is with Joe, when he says he's going to do something, he does it, and you can always rely on him. And I think the project could have fallen apart if there wasn't someone like that involved. As you can see, he's very dedicated to the role, changing his appearance. He had to go around looking like Grizzly Adams for a time, and I know people at his work took the mickey out of him for it. But he's also a talented musician. He plays guitar in the film, and the music, for instance, when he wakes up in Brighton, it's funfair music. He composed that. No, not really. The hardest things were trying to stay positive and keep on working to get it finished, which is hard when there's, mortgages and mouths to feed. The elements could be hard, walking through brambles and getting splinters in your legs and your hands. That could be annoying. I found myself lying down in mud to get shots, or waist deep in water. There was actually a situation where Joe was in a stream, and the current, to me, it didn't look particularly strong, so I got in there, and it actually was. And it took me off downstream, and I had a phone in my pocket and it was destroyed, so that was a bit of an expensive mistake. So I've made a few documentary features before. My approach to film, my approach to this film was largely like a documentary. In the end, I had a ton of footage and it had to be sculpted into a story, very much like documentary editing, and I really like that as well. It's really fun when you're editing to have lots of different stuff that might say the same thing, but it's different in a way. So it's not like looking at the same take over and over and over again. Then, if I felt it was lacking something, I would write scripted scenes. So for instance, there's the scene with the boss at the start and the scene with Vic after that. They were done after the main shooting, and Joe had even had a shave by then. His beard was off. Well, it's difficult. I would like to know more about that myself. But film festivals, there are a lot of free ones, but I didn't submit to too many of them. I sold all my camera equipment after the film, and therefore I had a bit of money to put the film into film festivals. But I did blow a lot of money submitting to some of the big ones, like Toronto, and I know people could easily go down that path of, hoping they might get into Cannes or Sundance and stuff like that, but it's very competitive, so I ended up getting a lot of rejection, and it really hurt at the time after spending so long on the film. But I guess that's the nature of the business, and so I was actually feeling like giving up on the film, but then I came across the film festival doctor. Her name's Rebecca, and she helped me get the film into lots of different festivals, including this one, which has been amazing. I guess social media too, but I don't use social media. It doesn't feel right for this particular film either. I'm working with Joe again and David, who's Vic in the film, on another feature shot in the same way called La Di Da. The film is about a son who kidnaps his terminally ill dad from a care home during COVID and going on a final road trip together. It has been shot and I'm editing it now. Thank you very much for watching this, and to Ignite for showing the film. Thank you very much.